Welcome to the School of the Lost Tribes. The Ark of the Covenant, a symbol of God's presence and law. The Ark of the Covenant was a sacred object central to Israelite worship, symbolizing God's presence among His people and containing the tablets of the law. The Ark was a rectangular wooden box, overlaid with gold, measuring approximately 3.75 x 2.25 x 2.25 feet, 1.1 x 0.7 x 0.7 meters. Its significance lay in both its function as a visible reminder of God's covenant with Israel and its role in the tabernacle and later the temple. Descriptions of the Ark. Exodus 25:22. There, above the cover between the two cherubim that are over the Ark of the Covenant law, I will meet with you and give you all my commands for the Israelites. The Ark served as the meeting point between God and Moses, where God's presence would manifest between the cherubim on the mercy seat. It was a physical representation of God's dwelling among His people and His communication of the law to Israel. Leviticus 16:2. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell your brother Aaron that he is not to come whenever he chooses into the most holy place behind the curtain in front of the atonement cover on the ark, or else he will die, because I appear in the cloud over the atonement cover." The ark was housed in the most holy place of the tabernacle, and later the temple, where only the high priest could enter once a year on the Day of Atonement. The presence of the ark made this place uniquely sacred, as it was where God's presence dwelled in a special way. Numbers 10:33. So they set out from the mountain of the Lord and traveled for 3 days. The ark of the covenant of the Lord went before them during those 3 days to find them a place to rest. As the Israelites journeyed through the wilderness, the ark led the way, signifying God's guidance and protection. Its presence assured the people that God was with them, directing their steps and providing for them during their journey. Joshua 3:6. Joshua said to the priests, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and pass on ahead of the people." So they took it up and went ahead of them. The Ark played a critical role in Israel's crossing of the Jordan River. The priests carried it ahead of the people, symbolizing that God Himself was going before them, leading them into the Promised Land. The waters of the Jordan parted in the presence of the Ark, demonstrating God's power and His covenant faithfulness. Joshua 4:5-9. Joshua said to them, "Go over before the ark of the Lord your God into the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. The ark's role in the miraculous crossing of the Jordan was commemorated by the setting up of memorial stones, emphasizing the ark's importance as a symbol of God's active presence in delivering his people. First Samuel 4:11. The ark of God was captured, and Eli's two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, died. The capture of the ark by the Philistines during a battle marked a devastating moment for Israel, as the ark represented God's presence with them. Its loss symbolized a momentary withdrawal of God's favor, though the ark would later be miraculously returned. The Ark of the Covenant was far more than a religious artifact. It represented the very presence of God among his people and their covenant relationship with him. Its central role in Israel's journey, worship, and encounters with God made it one of the most sacred objects in Israelite history, continually reminding them of God's laws and his presence. The purpose of the Ark of the Covenant, a detailed essay. The Ark of the Covenant is one of the most significant and sacred objects described in the Bible. It was a wooden chest overlaid with gold, containing the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments, Aaron's rod, and a pot of manna. Beyond its physical construction, the Ark held profound theological and symbolic meanings, serving as the central artifact of the Israelite covenant with God. Symbol of God's presence. The primary purpose of the Ark of the Covenant was to represent the presence of Yahweh among the Israelites. The Ark was not just a container for sacred objects, but was seen as the earthly throne of God. The Lord himself stated, "There I will meet with you, and I will speak with you from above the mercy seat." Exodus 25:22. This meeting place was where God's Shekinah glory would manifest, indicating his active presence with his chosen people. Testimony of the Covenant. The Ark was often referred to as the Ark of the Testimony because it held the stone tablets inscribed with the Ten Commandments, Exodus 25:16. These tablets represented the covenant between God and Israel, highlighting the law that the Israelites were to follow. It served as a reminder of their unique relationship with Yahweh and the obligations that came with it. The contents, including Aaron's rod and the manna, further signified God's provision and priestly authority, reinforcing the covenant promises made to Israel. Sacred role in worship and atonement. The Ark played a central role in the rituals of atonement. On the Day of Atonement, the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies, where the Ark was kept, and sprinkle the blood of a sacrificial animal on the mercy seat. Leviticus 16:14-15. This act symbolized the covering of the people's sins, reinforcing the idea that God's mercy triumphs over judgment when his covenant people seek forgiveness. The Ark thus became a symbol of reconciliation between God and Israel. Guidance for the Israelites. The Ark was also a source of divine guidance. When the Israelites set out on their journey through the wilderness, the Ark would lead them, symbolizing God's leadership. In Numbers 10:33-34, the ark is described as going before the people to search out a resting place for them. It acted as a physical manifestation of God's protection and guidance, reassuring the Israelites of his continual oversight during their travels. Instrument of divine power and judgment. The ark also represented God's divine power and authority. In several instances, it was directly associated with miraculous events and acts of judgment. For example, when the Philistines captured the ark, it brought plagues upon them until they returned it to Israel, 1 Samuel 5:6. The ark's presence in battles, such as during the fall of Jericho, Joshua 6, indicated God's active participation in delivering his people and executing judgment against their enemies. A foreshadowing of the Messiah. In a broader theological context, the Ark of the Covenant can be seen as a foreshadowing of Jesus Christ. The mercy seat, where the high priest would offer atonement, prefigures Christ's sacrifice on the cross. As the Ark represented God's presence, Jesus, referred to as Emmanuel, meaning God with us, Matthew 1:23, fulfilled the ultimate role of God dwelling among his people. The ark's contents, the law, manna, and Aaron's rod, symbolize aspects of Christ's ministry, the fulfillment of the law, the provision of the true bread of life, and the authority of the high priest. Conclusion. The Ark of the Covenant was far more than a sacred chest. It was the tangible representation of God's covenant, presence, and power among the Israelites. Through its construction, contents, and role in Israel's history, the Ark provided a profound connection between heaven and earth, serving as a precursor to the ultimate revelation of God in Christ. The Ark's legacy continues to resonate as a powerful symbol of the relationship between God and his chosen people, embodying his promises, guidance, and the hope of redemption.